Please start, Mataji.
Is the screen visible, Mataji?
Yeah.
No, sharing is visible.
No, it is coming, but screen is not visible. Yes, Mataji.
No, it's coming. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. And now we'll glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Gauraj. Jaya Advaita Gaura Chandra Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Gaura Chandra Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Srila Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Srila Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Srila Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Patit Pavan Shila Guru Deva, Jaya Param Dayalu Shila Guru Deva. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Shila Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Bhaja Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Bhaja Gaura Hari. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hari. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. God Premanande. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयति विष्णुपादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीननाथं। कृष्ण कृष्ण श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिनी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Today we are going to see about Sri Caitanya Charitamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 8, from verse number 62 onwards. So before that, I would like to seek all your blessings and kindly please bless me so that this topic is really, I don't have enough knowledge or don't have practical or theoretical knowledge about this topic. This is very high topic beyond my understanding and realization. So it's just like a parrot. I'm going to recite whatever is being said by the acharyas and said by Purport in the Srila Prabhupada. Kindly correct me and please consider, please forgive my mistakes in case if I do anything. Please feel free to correct me. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. Verse number 62. My voice is clear and the screen is visible for everyone. Krishna, my voice is clear and visible? And screen is...
Little slow, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Voice little slow.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Verse number 62. We saw the previous speakers have wonderfully explained about the conversation between Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu and Sri Rāmānanda Rāya. We saw Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu by the advice of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is coming to meet Sri Rāmānanda Rāya in the river of the bank of Godavari. And I'll start with this quote from Sri Bhagavad Gita 10.9. Machita matkata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya nityam nitya tushyanticha ramanticha. So Lord Sri Krishna says, my pure devotees dwell in my heart because they're always enlightening about me and they're always sharing about all the they always enlightened to share about me and they always discuss about me. So they're always dwelling in my heart. So here also we see wonderfully like Sri Rāmānanda Rāya and Caitanya Mahāprabhu are having a wonderful conversation between about the ultimate goal of life. Here, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami says about the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like a condensed milk, and the activities of Srila Rāmānanda Rāya is like a huge sugar candy. So this is a combination of a condensed milk and a sweet sugar candy. We are going to relish. I don't know how far I'm going to explain this, but as it is, it is a condensed milk and a combination of sugar candy. And when they all describe about Radha and Krishna, it's like they're adding some special camphor flavor to the topic. So in this way, we should relish this topic, it seems, but my mundane knowledge, I don't know how I'm going to explain, but I'll try to do justice to that. In verse number 57, we saw about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approaching Sri Rāmānanda Rāya and asking about recite a verse from the revealed scripture about what is the ultimate purpose of life. So he's asking Sri Rāmānanda Rāya, what is the ultimate purpose, ultimate goal of life? So Sri Rāmānanda Rāya explains about one executes the prescribed duties of his social order. She is going to is explaining about the Varnashrama Dharma. He's explaining the system of Varnashrama Dharma to be the highest. And then again, Lord further explain, furthermore you explain. And he's saying about the Karmarpana. Everything should be dedicated to the service of the Lord. Again, he says, please carry on further, and says action should be detached. We should not consider any action. We should not be towards the fruit. We should not think about the fruits of the action. We should detach from the action. And further he explains knowledge mixed with devotional service is higher. Finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says everything is external. Finally, he is going to explain about the spontaneous loving service of the Lord. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is little displeased and saying, you furthermore continue. And finally, we see that Rāmānanda Rāya is going to explain about the 5 kinds of rasa, and finally is going to establish the love for a godhead, love of the Radharani and Srimati Radharani and gopis are going to be the highest. So we'll just move to the verse number 62. Agnevam gunan doshan maya dishtan api svakan dharman santejya sarvam mam bhajet sacha sattamaha. Translation. Rāmānanda Rāya continued, occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can fully understand their qualities and faults and then give them completely to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a person is considered a first-class devotee. Here in Bhagavad Gita 18.48 verse, it says that Sahajam Karma Kaunteya. Here it says that there are flaws and faults in the Varnashrama Dharma. So similarly, but one should not give up his occupational duties. If you take a job of, if you take up the Varna and Ashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, everything, even Brahmana, they have some faults. Like if they have to fulfill the Varnashrama duty 100% perfect means it's very difficult. Like Kshatriya, he has to kill animals. Also in Brahmana also it's been explained that for if he has to perform some rituals, he has to do some killing. Vaishya, he has to say lie to perform his duty. He has to take some profit. So no one can be perfect in their occupational duties in the Varnas. So it is very difficult to be 100% perfect to perform this duty. If so, for an analogy is been quoted for this in verse number 18.48, like a fire is covered by smoke. We understand fire is very pure, but it will be covered by smoke. It doesn't mean that fire is always impure. So fire is pure, but it has to accompany by smoke. So in order to follow the Varnashrama Dharma, there will be some faults. But a first-class person, he will reject all these religious principles. So Rāmānanda Rāya explained this. And then further, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks him to further continue. Verse number 63. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vracha aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. As stated in scripture, Bhagavad Gita 18.66, after giving up all kinds of religious and occupational duties, if you come to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and take shelter, I will give you protection from all of life's sinful reaction. Do not worry. So thus, Bhagavad Gita ends by this hope and hope for us that if once we shall take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He will give us protection and He will remove all our sinful reaction. So He's asking us not to worry. That is a hope and expectation of the readers of the Bhagavad Gita. That is the end of the Bhagavad Gita. So in this purport, Raghunath Das Goswami, in this connection, it has been mentioned in Manasiksha, na dharmam, na dharmam, na dharmam, shruti gana niruttam kilakuru, vraje radha krishna prachora, paricharyamiha tanu. He has thus enjoined that we should not perform religious or irreligious activities as prescribed in the Vedas. The best course is to engage always in the service of Lord Krishna and Radharani. That is the perfection of everything in this life. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam 4.29.46, it is said by Narada Muni, Yada yasya anugrahnati bhagavan atma bhavitaha sajahati matim loke vede cha parinishtitam. When one actually takes to the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gives up all duties in the material world, as well as all duties prescribed by the Vedic literatures. In this way, one is fixed in the service of the Lord. So in the verse number 4.29.46, it's been mentioned from Srimad Bhagavatam, it said that Atma Bhavitaha. Atma Bhavitaha, the word is explained this. If one is always constantly thinking of the Lord, the feeling of the Lord is awakened by the mind of the devotee. So it's been said that once we are always constantly thinking of the Lord, that means we have already gave up all our material duties and we are not performing any Vedic literature. It is coming under we are performing the duty, performing the bhakti of Sri Radha and Krishna. And then the devotees are always having Krishna in their mind. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. Their mind is always engaged in the service of Sri Radha and Krishna. And Atma Bhavitaha always also means, it has been, again it has been mentioned in the verse, Atma Bhavitaha also states that the devotees of the Lord, they are having a causeless mercy. They're thinking that how can I take the conditioned soul from this material misery? They're not only thinking of Krishna alone, they are always thinking how other conditioned soul, other fallen soul should perform the devotional service. In this way, Atma Bhavitaha means if we are in the preaching mission or if we are always thinking of the Radha and Krishna, that means we are not performing any of the material duties. It is transcendental. It is completely spiritual. It is being said by our acharyas. And also, how one can, previously we saw that karma, jnana, Sri Rāmānanda explains about the karma kanda, jnana kanda, karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti, or he was explaining everything. So how one, the acharyas explain how one can get rid of the karma and jnana. It is purely by the causeless mercy of the devotees. The pure devotees, by their mercy, one will get rid of karma and jnana. And also, he will become pure devotee. He will start the process of devotional service, and finally he will reach to the platform of pure devotional service. Caitanya Caritamrta, it's been explained that Guru Krishna Prasadepai Bhakti Lata Bija. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, one gets the seed of devotional service. So this is all a science. It is a science, like by the mercy, by the pure devotees' mercy, because the pure devotees always think of Krishna, and also they not only think of Krishna, they're always thinking of how to take out the conditioned soul from this material world, material miseries, and they also should get this love of Godhead. So in this way, by their causeless mercy, we will also get, we can practically see the example of how before, when we came to consciousness, how we were, and how after coming to the Krishna consciousness, it's purely because of our love, of our causeless mercy of our Gurudev, causeless mercy of our Shiksha Gurus, causeless mercy of the devotees whom we all met. So it is purely by their mercy we are, whatever position we are, it is by their mercy. So this is, it can happen by this, the giving up their karma, giving up the jnana kanda. This is not so easy, but by the causeless mercy, it is possible. It's been assured by our acharyas. So further, we'll move to text number 64. Prabhu kahe ho ba kya aage kaha aara, Rāya kahe jnana mishra bhakti sadhya sara. After hearing Rāmānanda Rāya speak in this way, Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu again rejected his statement and said, go ahead and say something more. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Rāmānanda Rāya then explained, devotional service mixed with empiric knowledge is the essence of perfection. So here Rāmānanda Rāya is explaining about the Varnashrama Dharma, and then giving up detached action, giving up the fruitive activities, and then he's saying about the devotional service mixed with empiric knowledge is the essence of perfection. So devotion further, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want to extract the essence, extract the knowledge, or extract the what is the best from the Srila Rāmānanda Rāya. Ye tamam prapatyanti mam tam stataiva bhajamyaham. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows he's hiding a treasure. Like Rāmānanda Rāya is hiding all the treasure and all the knowledge. You want to extract from him and give to us. This has been said by Srila Rāmānanda Rāya also. You are like a puppeteer. I'm a puppet. Whatever you want me to act, however you want me to act, I will act. Whatever you want me to speak, I will speak. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is churning the butter from the mouth of the lotus mouth of Sri Rāmānanda Rāya. Devotional service mixed with non-Vedic speculative knowledge is certainly not pure devotional service. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati in his Anubhashya preaches that self-realization following the execution of ritualistic ceremonies is in the neutral stage between liberation and conditioned life. It is placed beyond this material world. In the river Viraja, where there are three modes of material nature, are subdued or neutralized in the unmanifest stage. However, the spiritual world is a manifestation of spiritual energy and is known as Vaikuntha Loka, in the place where there is no anxiety. The material world known as Brahmanda is the creation of external energy. Between the two creation, material creation and spiritual creation, is a river known as Viraja, as well as the place known as Brahmaloka. Viraja Nadi and Brahmaloka are shelters for living entities disgusted with material life and inclined to impersonal existence by way of denying material variegatedness. Since these places are not situated in Vaikuntha Lokas or the spiritual world, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu proclaims them to be external. In the Brahmaloka and Viraja Nadi, one cannot conceive of the Vaikuntha Lokas. Brahmaloka and Viraja Nadi are also attained after difficult austerities. But in these realms, there is no understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His transcendental loving service. Without such spiritual knowledge, simple detachment from material condition is but another side of material existence. From the spiritual point of view, it is all external. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu rejected this proposal, Rāmānanda Rāya suggested that devotional service based on philosophy and logic is a more advanced position. He's saying in this verse, it is being said that even he is rejecting the Brahmaloka as well as he is the Viraja Nadi. So that place where the devotees are disgusted with the material, enough is enough. They said that like the material world, everything is enough. We don't want any of the material anxieties. So by great austerities and penances, the great yogis and mystics, they achieved this Brahmaloka and this Viraja Nadi. But still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is rejecting because there is no scope of performing devotional service or loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So he's saying it is all external. Although there is no, they are detached from the material life, they are detached from all the material conditions, but there is no exchange, the loving exchange is happening. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it's external. So Brahmaloka, Viraja Nadi, nothing. They are not having any Vaikuntha, they are not having any rasas. So it is being said that he is rejecting all these things. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected his proposal, and Rāmānanda suggested again, devotional service based on philosophy and logic is more advanced. He's saying, okay, so maybe you may think that maybe is it correct? Devotional service based on philosophy and logic is a more advanced position. So in further verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will explain. Brahma Bhuta Prasannat, verse number 65. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sokshati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Translation. Rāmānanda Rāya continued. According to Bhagavad Gita, one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entities. In that stage, he attains pure devotional service unto me. In the purport, in this verse from Bhagavad Gita, it is said, the person who accepts the theory of monism, being always engaged in empiric philosophical discussion about spiritual life, becomes joyful and is relieved from all material lamentation and hankering. At that stage, one is equipoised. He sees all living entities as spiritual beings. After attaining this elevated stage, one can attain pure devotional service. The conclusion is that devotional service mixed with ritualistic fruitive activity is inferior to spiritual service based on empiric philosophical discussion. So finally, they coming to the conclusion that spiritual devotional service mixed with ritualistic fruitive activity is always inferior. Expecting something, some rituals, some fruitive, by performing some ritual, some fruitive activity, it's inferior to spiritual service based on philosophical discussion. Philosophical discussion without any expectation is considered superior to the devotional service mixed with ritualistic fruitive activity. Here in the Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma means those who have understanding, those who understands the absolute truth. Those, so they are happy. It's mentioned that those who understand absolute truth, they are happy. But in the purport, it's been given by Srila Prabhupada, the devotees who are performing devotional service, they are always in the Brahmabhuta stage. They are always happy. They didn't have to undergo any austerities or penances or any tough procedures. By performing the devotional service, the process of devotional service, they are very happy and they are advanced. They don't have any desires. Their only desire is to serve the Supreme Lord and the devotees. So next we'll go. Again, we'll see what Caitanya Mahāprabhu and Rāmānanda is going to discuss. Verse number 66. Prabhu kahe ho bhagya kaha ara, Rāya kahe jnana shunya bhakti sadhya sara. So if the question was, what is the ultimate goal of life? So one by one, Sri Rāmānanda Rāya is enunciating, and one by one, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu is rejecting. So we will see here in translation. After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it to be external devotional service. He again asked Rāmānanda Rāya to speak further, and Rāmānanda Rāya replied, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection. We'll see in purport. In his Anubhashya commentary, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that this stage, devotional service mixed with speculative knowledge, is also external and not within the jurisdiction of pure devotional service as practiced in Vaikuntha Loka. As soon as there is some conception of materialistic thought, be it positive or negative, the service is not spiritual. It may be free from material contamination, but because there is mental speculation, the devotional service is not pure and free from contamination of material life. It says that the speculative knowledge, devotional service mixed with speculative knowledge, is also external, and it is not coming under the pure devotional service, and this is not being practiced in the Vaikuntha, so that is external. Maybe there is no thought of any materialist, but still it is not coming under the spiritual jurisdiction, so hence it is rejected. A living entity who wants to be completely pure must be above this material conception. The negation of material existence does not necessarily mean spiritual existence. Suppose one thinks that I'm free from all the material desires, I'm free from all the material entanglement, material attachment, material designation. So that doesn't mean he is in the spiritual existence. The real self-realization should come, and then they should start performing devotional service. Then only there is an entry of the spiritual services. After material existence is negated, spiritual existence, namely Sachidananda, still may not be manifested. It means that once we are without Anyabhilashta, we don't have any asha, we don't have any desire, still that doesn't mean that we are in the spiritual existence. Our existence should be based on the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, until one comes to the stage of actually understanding one's eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, he cannot enter into the spiritual life. Spiritual life means becoming detached from the material life and engaging in the loving service of the Lord. So simply, nicely, it's been explained by the purport that spiritual life means it should be detached from the material life and offering all our fruits to the Krishna and not expecting anything and engaging in the loving service of the devotional service of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore asked Rāmānanda Rāya to explain something transcendental to devotional service mixed with speculative knowledge. A pure devotee is completely surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, and only by his love does he conquer Krishna, who cannot be conquered by anyone. Krishna always stands victorious over everything. No one can conquer him. One can attain the stage of pure devotion simply by fully surrendering. This is next corroborated by Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.3, wherein Lord Brahma, defeated by the potency of Sri Krishna, fully surrender unto the Lord. So the Lord Brahma also got defeated by the potency of Sri Krishna, and then he finally surrenders. It's a big pastime, so we are not discussing that. So even like by this, there is always said that we can attain the stage of pure devotional service simply by fully surrendering, not partially surrendering. By to pure devotion is attained completely surrendering to Lord Sri Krishna, which is, there are examples of our Goswamis, so those who have completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also we see Madhavendra Puri, when we are discussing about the rejection of occupational duties. Madhavendra Puri says that, Sandhyavanam Bhadramastu. He says that, oh my daily prayers, 3 times prayers, oh forefathers, oh demigods, oh my sacred bath. I'm rejecting all those things because my mind is always engaged in the remembrance of the enemy of Kamsa, Yadu dynasty. So my mind is absorbed in that. So please forgive me. I cannot be able to do all these occupational duties. I'm not able to perform all the rituals, all the ceremonies. So please forgive me because my mind is completely engaged in the service of the Lord. Also, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu took a stand. Like he also says that Naham Vipra, he is saying, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Shudra, I am not a sannyasi, I am not anything. What am I? I am Gopi Bhattur Patagamala Dasanu Das. So he's saying that I am the servant of the servant of Lord Shri Krishna. He took up the stand. It's been mentioned in the Padyavali verse number 63. So in that stage, the one can understand about the Shri Radha and Krishna. Verse number 62, we are moving. Jnane prayasam udapasya namantayeva jivanti shanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam sthane stutigatam tanuvan manobir ye prayaso ajita api asi tais trilokyam. Translation. Rāmānanda Rāya continued, Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing philosophical truths should hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, pastimes and qualities. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and remain free from illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and animal slaughter. Surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind, they can live in any ashrama or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such person, although you are always unconquerable. So it's Rāmānanda is saying that the impersonal conception was impersonal conception or understanding the absolute truth was rejected, and empirical philosophy, devotional mixed with empirical philosophy, was is saying that is also not there. So one should hear from the self-realized devotees, self-realized souls about what we should hear about the Lord's Nama, Rupa, Guna and Mahima. All those things we should hear about from the self-realized. So once we start hearing about the qualities, about the holy name, about the form of the Lord, about the pastimes of the Lord, about the qualities of the Lord, then only our love for the Godhead is awakened. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and follow the regulative principles like illicit, not for no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, and no animal slaughters. This is very important. Should I take the association and hearing from the self-realized souls, and also following this regulative principles is very important. Also surrendering oneself in full body, manasa, vacha, karma. So whether then Rāmānanda is saying, whether somebody is following all these things, they're hearing, they're following the four regulative principles, maybe they are in any ashrama, any social status, that doesn't matter. So you are conquered by such persons. Such persons, Lord doesn't see which ashrama, which varna, nothing he is seeing, but he is only interested in how they are following, what they are following, from whom they are hearing. That much is Lord interested. That's what Srila Rāmānanda is explaining in verse number 67. Let's move to verse 68. प्रभु कहे हो आगा का आगे कहे आरा राया कहे प्रेमा भक्ति सर्व साध्य सारा. Translation. At this point, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu replied, "This is all right, but still you can speak more on the subject." Caitanya Mahāprabhu, Sri Rāmānanda is giving many answers, but finally he got acceptance to this answer, like following their understanding, like hearing from the self-realized soul and following regulative principles. So in this point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "This is all right. Please further expand." Purport. Rāmānanda Rāya then explained, ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the essence of all perfection. One should have an ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarizes the conversation up to this point, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Rāmānanda Rāya, Yeho haya age kaha ara. This is the process accepted in devotional service. But there is something more than this. Therefore, please explain what is beyond. Simply executing the duties of all varnas and ashramas is not as good as offering all the results of one's activities to the Lord. So first he is saying, first Varnashrama. Varnashrama, he is explained about the Varna and Ashrama. That is not good. So what is good? Offering all the results of one's activities of the God is good. So then what is better than that? When one gives all the fruitive activity and fully surrender to the Lord is better. Then that is called Swadharma Tyaga. Swadharma Tyaga means like everything dedicated to the Lord, everything sacrificing and giving up all the activities and surrendering to the Lord is good. Better than that, wherein he abandons social order and takes to the renounced order. This is certainly better. Better than that is renounced order is the cultivation of knowledge mixed with devotional service. And better than that is, these are all, yet all these are external, but they are better. Yet these activities are external to the activities of spiritual world. There is no such touch of pure devotional service in them. Pure devotional service cannot be attained by empiric philosophy, nor can perfection be attained simply by good association. Devotional service by self-realization is a different subject matter. It is untouched by fruitive activity, for one surrenders the results of activities of the Lord, abandons prescribed duties, and accepts the renounced order. Like such devotional service is situated on a higher platform than that of empiric philosophical speculation with a mixture of bhakti. This is verified by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyena Krishna Vishelanam Bhakti Ruttama. So which is the best? One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. So devotional activities, however, sometimes appear to be impure in the neophyte stage, but in the mature stage, they are completely pure or free from material activity. Therefore, Rāmānanda Rāya replied after hearing the last statement of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Bhakti, Sarva Sadhya Sara. So once Rāmānanda Rāya said that Prema Bhakti is the best, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu actually accepted this verse, Jnane Prayasam, as the basic principle of perfection. So from all these external symptoms, now Rāmānanda Rāya said, they mentioned the word Prema Bhakti, loving devotional service. One has to practice this principle in order to make further progress. So how to this has to be practiced. to make further progress. When further progress is actually made, one comes to the platform of ecstatic loving service to the Lord. How this ecstatic loving service will come? By performing sadhana bhakti or devotional service in practice. Sadhana bhakti is the result of sadhana bhakti must be ecstatic love, attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is also called prema bhakti. In the beginning, we are called sadhakas. Sadhakas means those who are in the process of performing the devotional service, following the orders of the Guru, following the footsteps of our previous acharyas, following the 4 regulative principles, whatever has been said by our Siksha Gurus, whatever has been ordered by our Guru Maharaja, we are following the 4 regulative principles, performing Mangalarti, chanting the holy name of the Lord 16 times, at least 16 times, performing Mangalarti, attending the devotional service, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. All these are the part of sadhana bhakti. Once the sadhana bhakti is performed very well, and it should lead to prema bhakti. In the neophyte stage, sadhana bhakti includes faith, association with devotees, and practicing devotional service. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted things. By the devotees association, by performing all those things, by reading, by chanting, by doing devotional service, by deity service, by deity worship, we will be free from all the unwanted contamination. One thus becomes fixed in devotional service and increases his desire to act in devotional service. Thus, one becomes attached to the Lord and his devotional service. By properly executing the sadhana bhakti, one can actually get entry into the prema bhakti, and he becomes attached to the Lord and his devotional service. Verse number 69. Nānopachāra krutapūjanam mātabandho premnaiva bhakta hridayam sukha virdhutam syāt yavat shuddhasti jatare jarata pipasa tavat sukaya bhavato nanubhakshyāpe. Translation. Rāmānanda Rāya continued, as long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach, varieties of food and drink make one feel very happy. Similarly, when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart of the devotees. You know that Navavida Bhakti is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So there are various type of devotional activities are performed. So we need variegatedness. So this variegatedness in the form of bhakti, one may like to hear, one may like to sing, one may like to do kirtan, one may like to read about them, one may like to do artis, do all these 9 type of devotional service. There are many varieties. So when Lord is worshipped with pure love, these activities, this awakened the transcendental bliss in the heart of the devotees. Verse number 70. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yedi koto api labhyate. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yedi koto api labhyate tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. Janma koti sukritai na labhyate. It's a very important verse. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activities in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So it is said that Tatra Laulyam Apimulyam Ekalam. So we should have an intense greed for the Lord, intense greed for the pure devotional service. We should somehow we should purchase it without any delay. So these are all very wonderful quote. The previous 2 verses are included in Padyavali 13-14, an anthology compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. Verse 69 refers to devotional service in faith, and verse 70 refers to devotional service rendered out of intense greed. The first is devotional service rendered in accordance with regulative principle. The second verse to spontaneous loving service to the Lord without extraneous endeavor. Henceforward, the basic principle underlying the talks between Caitanya Mahāprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya will be spontaneous loving service of the Lord. The regulative principle according to injections of the Shastras are necessary in so far as in original dormant Krishna consciousness is not spontaneously awakened. An example of spontaneous action is the flowing of river into the ocean. Nothing can stop this flow of water. So similarly, when once dormant Krishna consciousness is awakened, it spontaneously flows to the lotus feet of Krishna without impediment. Whatever will be spoken henceforward by Rāmānanda Rāya based on spontaneous love will be agreeable to Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, and then Lord will ask him more and more about this subject matter. So spontaneous love of Godhead has been accepted by Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, and it is it's been explained that pure devotional service cannot be had by pious activities in hundreds and thousands of lives. We have to pay only one price. We have to have a greed. We have to have a very intense greed, and we should purchase it without any delay. This is an instruction for us to have the greed and purchase the we should desire for the pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness. So Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu agreed and approved for the spontaneous love. It is being first we should have a sadhana bhakti should be performed, and spontaneously it will end in the prema bhakti. So I stop here, and I thank all the devotees for giving me the wonderful opportunities, and also all the devotees who are patiently listening, and please feel free to correct me and kindly bless me so that I will be performing devotional service in the association of devotees. Hare Krishna, pranams. Thank you so much. Shri Chaitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande, Hari Hari. I know these topics are beyond my conception. Somehow I try to read from the verses. Please feel free to share your thoughts, or feel free if I did any mistake, feel free to correct me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Devotees, anybody having any questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Ananga Manjari Mataji has something she wrote in the chat which I couldn't understand. Ananga Manjari Mataji, will you able to speak?
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Sama.
No, Mataji, actually, Nityanarsimha Prabhu asked me about the class. So actually, I supposed to give this reply to him, but by mistake, I give to him.
Acha, got it. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari, got it. So if there are no questions and any comments, then we can wind up. Please glorify Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, pranams devotees. Thank you so much. Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande, Hari. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, all dear devotees. Hari Bol. See you all next week. Hare Krishna. Thank you.